Hello, this is Toppie, Lincicome with Shawnee Hypnosis and Counseling Clinic. I'm not here to talk to you as a counselor today. I'm here to talk to you as a parent. I'm a dad and very happy to be a dad. Not too long ago, I saw a heart-wrenching YouTube video a girl put out. Her name was Amanda Todd. She told about her experience being bullied and the horror and the torture that came with that kind of thing. Here's a picture from that video. Five short weeks after Amanda videoed this, she committed suicide. My condolences go out to the family. There are no words that I can give you, but just understand that my heart truly goes out to you. And what came to my mind when I watched this video is I had two choices. I could ignore this and pretend it'll never come my way, or I can do something about it. And I would like this to be hopefully helpful to people out there that are at a loss with their teenagers, with their kids who are being bullied or who have been bullied, or just having a hard time with their lives. Amanda made a mistake. She flashed her body during a video chat, and that picture not only followed her, but the people involved followed her, not just to one school, but to several school settings. And it would seem as if they did their very best, or worst, however you look at it, to just drive her all the way down. And it just breaks my heart. By the way, cutting does not relieve depression. It simply distracts from depression. And my heart just went out to her when I saw it, and of course when I learned that she had committed suicide, it broke my heart. I've got a 10-year-old daughter. She's the world to me, as I'm sure your kids are the world to you. And I know this, that our children are one embarrassment away from being bully targets. So what do we do? How do we handle that? Well, I think Amanda left us something that we can certainly talk about and hopefully learn from. I took a while to think about this. It's not an intervention that I would do for a young child, anybody 5 or 6. My daughter is 10, and I actually sat on the fence trying to decide if she was mature enough really to handle this kind of material. Unfortunately, we live in a world where we don't really have that much of a choice, and so I decided I was going to show this to her and talk to her about it. I took a couple of days to set it up, and would ask her some questions and would talk to her about some real life things. I would do this in passing. Just a couple of things about how a child's mind functions and how a young person's mind, not just a child but a tween, which is what my daughter likes to call herself, functions. First of all, it's the frontal cortex is the logic, our ability to think about and think through situations. And it's the last part of our brain that matures. It matures in the mid-20s. So this is why our teenagers do things just on the fly. They just suddenly do things. And I don't doubt that Amanda, in just the moment, just did what she did and had no thought whatsoever of what the result would be. This is the way it is with our kids. We help our children the very best we can. At the same time, understand that there's no guarantees. And so even though I've gone over this with my daughter, and this will not be just a one-time discussion, but we will continue to discuss these things into the future as we, from time to time, talk about life, there are no guarantees. I wanted to make some points to my daughter. I wanted to really ingrain into her mind. I wanted her to get to realize. And so before I even showed her the video, before I even let her know that we were going to watch this video, there's some things that I told her. One of those things that I told her is that sometimes people can be incredibly cruel. Believe it or not, although I'm pretty sure the people that were beating up on poor Amanda, well, they knew they were being cruel. I don't see how there would be any other way about it. But there are times people are cruel and they don't even realize they're being cruel. But people can be very cruel, and life can be incredibly hard. This is just how it is sometimes. Although life is wonderful, but still people can be cruel. Also, another thing that I told her before we ever got to the video was simply this. Sometimes people come to us in our lives and they'll say things to us like, if you'll do this, I will be your friend. If you will do this, I will love you. Especially in the tweens and teens area of our life, there's an overwhelming desire to belong, to be part of, to be popular. That's just natural. That's a natural desire to have. And we do our very best to temper that desire, but that's just part of it. So when you add that together with the impulsivity of the thinking of a child, you can understand how things happen. But what I made very clear to my daughter was, people that tell you those things, even after you do those things for them, they don't love you. They love what you did for them. Plain and simple. You see, people that love us, we don't have to be anything but who we are. And one of life's greatest challenges is to find out who we are and be that person that we're supposed to be. And I told her these things and we talked about these things. I did it probably 2-3 days before finally I sat down and I said, we're going to watch this. We watched the video and I could tell that it was disturbing for her to watch. It's not a gory video. It's just the story itself is incredibly, terribly heart-wrenching and sad. And I could see this was affecting my daughter. When it was done, I made these points to her, and maybe this will be helpful for you or somebody out there. Number one, I told her, your mother and I love you. No matter what you ever do, we're always going to love you, and you will always be able to come to us about anything that happens in your life. Now, after the video, my daughter said, Dad, I'll never do that. I know she believes that. I know that she really means that. But we go back to just how it is with kids. It doesn't mean they can't be responsible. It's just not as easy as it is after you get into your mid-20s. And even then, sometimes you wonder about some folks, right? So we teach our children to be responsible, but we know that there's things out there. And that's why I made it very clear to her. She could always come to me. Also, another core belief that I have that affects the way I live, that affects who I am, that affects the kind of counselor I am, and that is, I told my daughter, God loves you and has a purpose for your life. There's a reason you're here. And the reason that you're here is important. And you need to find that reason and you need to go after. That's the uncharted territory that an awful lot of us are afraid to go into. But it's there. So I made that point to her very clearly. Those are the points that I made to her. That she was loved, that she belongs, that she will always belong and she can always come to us, that God loves her, and that there's a purpose for her life. There's no guarantees, but I think that we do the very best that we can. I know that our children are one embarrassment away from becoming bully targets. And what's important to do to prepare them for that is for them to have that, I believe, that understanding that I've just gone over. But it's also important to build a resilience and to build an understanding that there's people out there that really should mean nothing to me that are trying to be everything, and they're not. When we can build the kind of resilience that a child needs, then they can survive this world of bullying. You know, I applaud any attempt to end bullying, but here's the sad truth. We're never going to end bullying. It's never going to go away. It doesn't stop on the schoolyard. It continues on into the workplace. It continues throughout the lifetime. What we have to do is help our children grow and develop a strong backbone. It's not easy to do, but when they know there's somebody in their corner, it's a lot easier. I appreciate you listening to this today, and well, be careful out there and do the best you can. Thanks.